Welcome to my channel Silent Shackles. Before we talk about history, before we talk about names, dates, or sins, I want you to imagine a feeling, not a place on a map, not a chapter in a book, but a feeling that settles into your chest, heavy, warm, uncomfortable. It is night in coastal Georgia. The year is 1858. The air is thick, sweet with magnolia and damp earth. Cicadas cry from the trees, their sound sharp and endless, as if they were screaming about something they've seen and can never forget. The land feels alive, restless, like it's holding its breath. In the distance stands a plantation house. Large, white, silent, most of its windows are dark, but one, just one, glows softly. An oil lamp flickers behind thin curtains upstairs. Its light trembles like a nervous breath. Inside that house, a secret is growing. Quiet, dangerous, and powerful enough to destroy every life it touches. You see, plantations are often remembered as places of order, structure, discipline. People like to imagine that everything ran smoothly, that everyone knew their place. But that idea has always been a lie, because beneath that polished surface, chaos lived quietly, not in shouting, not in violence, but in whispers, a glance that lasts a second too long, a door closed just a little too carefully, footsteps that stop when someone else enters the room. And the center of this story is a boy, barely old enough to shave. Imagine him standing at the top of a wooden staircase. 16, maybe 17. He's holding a book, pretending to read, but his eyes haven't moved across the page in minutes. His attention is somewhere else, down the hallway, watching, listening. He notices small things at first, things that don't make sense, but don't feel accidental either. He notices how his mother's voice changes, how it lowers, softens, when she speaks to one particular enslaved man. How her posture stiffens around others, but relaxes around him. He notices how that man, let's call him Isaiah, never meets her eyes. His head stays bowed, his hands are always busy, as if stillness itself might get him punished. The boy doesn't understand what he's seeing, but he feels it, that tightness in the stomach, that quiet fear when something feels wrong, but important. And this is where the danger begins, because in the world this family lives in, the greatest crime isn't cruelty, it isn't injustice, it isn't even violence. The greatest crime is scandal. A plantation owner's wife is expected to be untouchable, pure, controlled, silent. She isn't just a woman, she's a symbol, a living proof of white superiority. For her to cross that line, especially with an enslaved man, is unthinkable. And yet, it happened, not once, not suddenly, but quietly, repeatedly, in stolen moments between ticking clocks and guarded hallways. Her name, let's call her Eleanor. She married young, as many women did, raised to be graceful, obedient, invisible. She learned early that her life was a performance, smile when spoken to, entertain guests, produce heirs, never ask where the money came from, never question the screams from the fields, never look too closely at the blood beneath the wealth. By the time Eleanor arrived on the plantation, she already knew her role, but knowing your role and accepting it are not the same thing. Something inside her began to crack. Maybe it was loneliness, maybe it was anger, maybe it was the slow realization that her entire life was already written, and none of it belonged to her. She lived in comfort, but not freedom. Isaiah, on the other hand, was born into slavery on that land. He didn't remember a time before chains, physical or invisible. He knew every fence, every tree, every shadow that could hide him for half a second. He worked close to the house, trusted enough to carry messages, close enough to be watched, invisible enough to be ignored. And that's often how these stories begin, not with love, not even with desire, but with proximity. Two people forced to share space, under a system that poisoned every human interaction. And let me say this clearly, no matter what Eleanor felt, no matter what she told herself, there was never equality here. Isaiah could not say no in any meaningful way. His body did not belong to him. His future did not belong to him. Even silence was not safety. Still, the secret grew. The boy noticed more, his mother inventing reasons to walk certain corridors, Isaiah being sent on errands that took him near her rooms, small patterns forming, quiet, deliberate. Then one night, everything changes. The boy wakes suddenly. No sound, no dream, just that feeling, the one that tells you something is wrong. He lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. His heart pounds. Then he hears it. Voices, not words, just tones. Soft, urgent, intimate. They seep through the wall like smoke. He doesn't understand what's being said, but he understands what it means. Something sacred in his childhood slips away, and the house feels different after that. He feels different. But plantations are not built for secrets. Too many eyes, too many ears, too many people who understand danger better than anyone else. Other enslaved people notice. They always do. They say nothing, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Survival demands silence. And then, there is the husband, the plantation owner, a man who measures his worth in acres and bodies, a man who believes control is his birthright. He speaks of honor, of order, of God. He is often away, overseeing deals, protecting status, and when he is gone, the house breathes differently. One afternoon, the boy follows Isaiah, not with intention, just restlessness, curiosity. Isaiah turns down a hallway he rarely uses. The boy hesitates, then follows. The air feels heavy, thick. Then, he stops. His mother steps out of her bedroom and quietly closes the door behind her. She sees him. Time freezes. No screams, no explanations. Just Eleanor's face, filled with fear and pleading. Isaiah's eyes fixed on the floor, and the boy feels something break inside him. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly, like wood cracking under pressure. He turns and runs. That night he doesn't eat. He doesn't sleep. Questions circle him until morning. Is his father being betrayed? Is his mother in danger? Is Isaiah a criminal or a victim? By dawn, the house feels hollow, artificial, like a stage after the audience has left. Days pass. The boy carries the truth like a stone in his chest. He avoids his mother, avoids Isaiah, watches his father with new eyes. Every word about honor feels false. Every punishment feels cruel. And still, he says nothing, because silence has a cost. Weeks later, the truth spills out, not in a confession, but in fragments. A raised voice, a slammed door, a sentence spoken in anger that cannot be taken back. The husband finds out. What follows is swift and brutal. Isaiah is accused of seduction, of forgetting his place, of corrupting a white woman. He is punished publicly, violently. The records do not tell us what happened to him after that. They rarely do. Eleanor is sent away. For her health, they say. The boy is warned never to speak of it again, and the plantation goes on. Years pass. The war comes, slavery ends. The boy grows into a man. One night, by candlelight, he writes a letter. Just a few pages. He doesn't name names. He doesn't justify himself. He writes about guilt, about silence, about the enslaved man whose life was erased, so others could preserve their reputation. Because this story is not about scandal, it is about power, about how slavery corrupted everything it touched. Marriage, parenthood, even love. It is about children inheriting secrets and growing up with wounds they never chose. Eleanor was both oppressed and oppressor. Isaiah was human, in a world that denied his humanity, and the boy learned too early that morality is not what people preach. It is what they do when no one is watching. So when you think about that flickering lamp in the window, remember this: the past is not silent. It whispers, and it asks us not just to remember, but to feel. This is Silent Shackles.